one of the most recent things that came out about mermaids was this freak. Have you seen this freak? Yeah. I'm sad to say that I've seen far more of this freak than I ever really wanted to, because there are some very disturbing photos floating around on Twitter. So if you're watching this, please be careful the next time you're scrolling through Twitter, because it might get a little bit disturbing. So this trans charity worker who worked for Mermaid posed as a schoolgirl in explicit pictures. So this person has a schoolgirl fetish, is not the sort of person I want interacting with young children, young vulnerable children who might be in need of safeguarding. I do not trust somebody who looks and dresses like this to safeguard children. But I'll carry on. So parents of children who have used the transgender youth charity Mermaids have complained to the watchdog after a worker posted explicit images and sexualized pictures as a schoolgirl online. Darren Mew, digital engagement officer at the children's charity, who identifies as they them, posted an image of himself on Instagram with an upwards view through his short skirt with the words, "Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm just out here living my fantasy." So just openly admitting, this is my fantasy, this is a fetish, this is why I'm doing it. Also, please clap. Back in the day, people weren't clapping for people's fantasies and fetishes being displayed and exhibited publicly, except if you were going into some kind of seedy club. But now people are working for children's charities, posting this publicly, expecting for this to be, just A-OK. Very disturbing behaviour. He was also featured in a collage of 6 pictures of himself naked, holding his you-know-what from the rear, with pairs of breasts with penises protruding from them for a shot for House magazine, an LGBT publication. And you wonder why people question the larger LGBT community. Sadly, I'm sure there are plenty of normal people within that community. My own uncle is gay. Not everybody is like this, but it seems that the mainstream prevailing culture regarding it is pretty freakish, as far as I'm concerned.
More gay men and lesbians are turning against the community now and are calling it out.
And good for them.
They have to, because when this implodes, and this will implode, it will be gay men who take all the flack, because all these queer people will just disappear back into normal society. Gay men will take the beatings and take the assaults and take the abuse.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you get organisations like Gays Against Groomers and the LGB Alliance, which are all doing good work.
Yeah, they can see what's coming, because the average person, the average hoodlum, with an Asbo and a baseball bat, all he sees is LGBT. All he sees is gay men. That's all they are. They're just different types of gay men. So gay men more gay men need to speak up about this, because they'll be the ones who suffer the most when this implodes. And
also, I just think we all have a moral duty to protect children. So those people coming out and trying to do their best to protect children, I've got their back, as far as I'm concerned. But it continues by saying that Mew lists himself on LinkedIn as the digital engagement officer at Mermaids. He's featured in campaign material for the charity, and until recently on the Mermaids website, under a staff profile saying Darren joined Mermaids in 2021. They have many years of experience working in the LGBT and charity sectors and believe in the power of community and bringing people together. When they aren't working, you'll often find them reading magazines, watching videos, or at a drag show. Once again, judging by everything else I've seen of this person, not the sort of person that you'd want near children. I don't understand how Mermaids, if they really do care about safeguarding and protecting children, wouldn't have done a background check on this guy or some kind of character assessment to determine whether they want him interacting with their...
It's not the sort of thing charities do. They haven't got the setup.
They've not got the resources.
To do that sort of thing. At the moment, this gentleman's done nothing illegal. So, but as a charity, your main concern is safeguarding the people you work with, and Mermaids work with children, and there's nothing more important than that. Now, Mermaids knew all of this. They had to know all of this, but it's not an issue to Mermaids because of Mermaids' aims and objectives in society anyway. So this is what Mermaids wants. So that's why Mermaids never pushed back and gave him the job, because he's queer. We're for queers. We want children to be queer.
This is just what queer people do.
Yes, he's not touched anybody, but he likes to dress up as a pubescent girl with a short see-through skirt, and he likes to have an erection while he does it. Nothing wrong, because he's not touched anyone, so there's nothing wrong with that. But that's queer theory. Everybody else in the country is going, That's a step too far.
Yes.
And we know where this leads to, and we're not having any of this. It's just that queer theory and identity, gender identity theory and all that have started warping some of this. But common sense is common sense.
Yes, I mean, I think.
And where's the safeguarding? Has anybody read their safeguarding policies? Do they have safeguarding policies? That's why the Charity Commission is on their back now.
I mean, even if they do have safeguarding policies, when we see things like this, I don't think they apply, really. If they do have safeguarding policies and they're hiring people like this.
I set up a charity,
Yeah,
a multi-award winning charity. In our safeguarding policy, it never mentions any of this stuff. Why would it?
Yeah, why would you need
Why am I writing that I don't want any staff online with an erection, playing with breasts, dressed as a schoolgirl? Well, I never would imagine anybody would do that anyway. So it won't be in their policy.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, actually. But anyway, I think they've removed this person from the organisation since it became public, because this is a PR disaster. But note that it only became relevant when it became a PR disaster. Before then, it was perfectly fine.
Mermaids have brought all this on themselves.
Absolutely.
By trying to by trying to remove the charity status of the LBG Alliance.
So they did that, didn't they?
Because they're in court, all this is coming out. A lot of this is coming out in court, and now the media is going, let's have a little bit more of a look about mermaids. And this is all because mermaids thought they were untouchable and believed everything they say. But now they're being examined. It's all mermaids are done, by the way. They just don't know.
No, they're absolutely. When we get to the end of this, they are absolutely done. Thankfully, and as well as that, this article also mentions that Jacob Breslow, one of Mermaids' trustees, quit after it emerged that he was linked to an organisation that helps paedophiles live in truth and dignity. He was giving speeches at public rallies and stuff that they were doing, and the National Lottery has paused a £500,000 grant while the Charity Commission investigates them for handing out potentially harmful breast binders to girls as young as 13 behind their parents' backs, and other claims. A Mermaid source claimed that Mew is no longer employed there. However, the charity refused to confirm this. So I can assume that he's probably just gone. Even if the charity's not confirming it, I don't think you would want such a public relations liability.
Well, all you need to do is go on a Charity Commission website, look up the charity, and it gives you the name of the trustees.
There you go.
If his name's not there, he's not a trustee anymore.
Yeah, and
Simple as that.
That was one of the other things that was a big controversy as well that I just mentioned there. NHS staff have been warned that they must not promote mermaids anymore in the latest blow to the organisation, according to the Daily Mail, and this has come out at the back of an undercover investigator, an undercover reporter, calling them up, pretending to be an underage girl, about 13 years old, and saying, I need a breast binder, can you do that? And they were prepared to send it out without parents knowing, without any safeguarding concerns whatsoever. So this has got them in big trouble as well, to the point where, as Calvin shared in the Twitter post right here, they have been questioned in Parliament. Yeah. They are being questioned in Parliament, and Liz Truss herself, after being spoken to about this by Miriam Cates, the MP, saying that we need a police investigation into mermaids, Liz Truss actually supported it. So we've got the PM herself saying, yes, it's time for an investigation here. So
the first line of any safeguarding policy should always be that you will engage and inform parents of absolutely everything, unless the parent is the abuser.
Yeah.
So if a child says to you, my daddy's hurting me, mum, obviously you don't go straight to the parents. But if it's not that, you tell parents everything, because that's how you safeguard children. If you want to abuse a child, the first thing you teach that child is...
don't listen to your parents.
No, how to keep a secret.
Oh, yes.
How, and the first secret isn't a big secret. You train a child how to keep secrets, little secrets. Here's a Mars bar. Don't tell anybody where you got it from. It's our secret. And that's how you do. So when a charity is sending things, chef binders to children, are doing all these things with children, and they're saying, and don't tell your parents, that is the first rule of safeguarding, just shattered.
That's a good point. Well, thank you very much for that input there, Nick. But after all that, I can only hope that, like you said, Mermaids is done. They just don't know it yet. Yeah. Anyway.
So people who are thinking, why did mermaids get away with this for so long? It's because historically, as humans, we have always sacrificed children on the altar of the latest deity. The Aztecs, we've always done it. This new thing about gender and queer is just the latest version, and we're still sacrificing the lives of children today on this new altar, and it needs to stop.
It absolutely does, and I can only hope that if mermaids go down, that'll be the next step in shutting this down for good.
Hopefully.